EA Interviews, episode 63.
Inspiration, transformation, success stories, and the Imperfect Action Round. 7 days a week. Join Mario Ficini for today's Expert Authority Effect interview.
Welcome, Expert Authority World. I am excited to be sharing with you today Leanne Ely from SavingDinner.com. Have you ever wanted to have a nutritious dinner, but you didn't want to have something that tasted bad? Have you ever wanted to be eating healthier, but you just didn't know where to start? I'm excited to bring her up because she has not only been on magazines, TV, radio, she has her own show. She's published books all around the world, and she's done it with self-publishing and traditional publishing. She's a wealth of knowledge, and I've been following her for a couple of years, and I've learned a lot myself, so I'm excited to bring her up. But first, we're going to thank our sponsor. Congratulations, you got started with your cell phone, and I welcome you to the live streaming game. Now you're comfortable on camera and going live regularly, but I caution you, don't get stuck in startup mode. This is why I stepped up my game with Wirecast Pro and advise you do too. Get your 30-day free trial at eainterviews.com/Wirecast. Here she is, ladies and gentlemen, Leanne Ely. How are you doing, Leanne?
I'm doing great, Mario. Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm excited to have you share with Expert Authority World because, like I was saying in the intro, I've learned a lot from you, love what you do. I think it's fantastic. And I want to know what inspired you to start your company. Why Saving Dinner?
It's somewhat of a long story, but I'm going to shortcut it for you just so we have some time left at the end of this interview. But I was a freelance writer at the time, and I did an article of a woman that I was following online who helped me as a homeschool mom get my act together at home and get organized. Her name was Fly Lady, Marla Cilley, if you've ever heard of her. And she was just, she just had a way about her. And she and I really hit it off when I went to go do her interview. And she said, I don't cook much, but my ladies are always asking me for some help in the kitchen. Would you help out? So I said, sure. And so one day she also, she gave me a call and she said, we are going to have a concentrated time of doing a cleanup, and decluttering of the house. How about if you make like some crock pot meals for the week? I said, I'll do you one better and add shopping lists to it. And we sent it out, and I got bombarded hundreds of emails saying, do this every week for us. This was great. It was so easy. And I said, I'm not going to do that. And I was talking to her and she said, Leanne, this is a business. And I went, oh yeah, so it is. So this is the year 2000. And by about 2001, I had my first website up. But before that, I was just dealing with what are now Yahoo groups. But, I just kind of cobbled a business together. It was the first menu planning website on the internet.
That is very impressive, and I remember the Yahoo groups. You're taking me back to AOL. I am AIM and Prodigy times.
Yeah, back
you were probably
in the day.
using dial-up for that too, weren't you?
Oh, heavens to Murgatroyd, yes. I mean, it was terrible. And nowadays we have all these experts in everything. They do everything, anything that you can think of online. Well, there were no experts when I started out. Or if they were all hiding under rocks because I certainly didn't know who they were. And I just kind of figured it out myself. So it was quite an interesting time.
Let me ask you, what's the most interesting thing that's happened since you started to, let's just say the first 5 years? I'm going to ask you some stuff later down the road because obviously you've had major success with all this, but let's dive in from that day when you had no website and everything, the first couple of years. What was one of the most interesting things that happened with you?
It's so funny because, and I think you would agree with this, that what happens oftentimes in your career is things just kind of, it's like a snowball going downhill and just collecting snow. And that's pretty much how my career has been. It's just been gathering momentum and gathering, more snow as it goes. And for me, I got a lot of opportunities right out of the gate. There was no such thing as an influencer. There was no such thing as a blog back then, but I was an influencer and a blogger before the terms were coined. And I was on QVC 3 times. That was fascinating to watch the whole home shopping, the way that's all been done, and just watch thousands of books in 20 seconds go out the door. It was amazing. That was one of my big things. And then I've done several, I did a media tour. That was a satellite media tour. That was a fascinating, first time I'd ever done anything like that. And I just basically stood in one place and was rocketed, satellited all over the United States. That was interesting. Um, Lots of book tours and flying all over the United States. I've met some interesting people along the way. It's been fascinating. I feel like I've been really blessed with a great career, and just the way everything's been. Um, yeah, lots of things. I mean, I'm now I don't know if this is even in my bio, but I am a spokesperson for Meals on Wheels America, and that has been a real highlight of my career too. Just being able to see people brought to the table to eat, everybody, even our disenfranchised elders. And so it's been quite a journey.
I love that, because a big part of what I do, and the reason I always wanted my own business, and it sounds like you're a huge advocate for starting your own, which is awesome,
Yes.
is like you're saying, being able to give back and helping those other people that, feel like they're lost or whatever the case may be, because there's so many that, there's only certain ways, and you have to be at certain levels to be able to go, you know what, here, do this, do that. If you're struggling yourself, it's real hard to, want to give whatever it is you do away. So thank you for contributing also.
Well, it's been my pleasure, and it's also interesting too that, my daughter has started her own business, and she's a food photographer and recipe developer. And so the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So that's been rewarding to watch her just really grow into her own creativity, and, to know that I had a small hand in it. It's pretty nice.
It's awesome to hear about leaving the legacy, because it shouldn't end with, our generation. It should continue on, I believe.
Absolutely. 100%.
So with what you do, who would you say is your ideal target market for who you're looking to help? Is it a single person? Is it a married couple? Is it kids? Is it the whole family? Tell me more
You know,
about who you help and how you're helping them.
It is so funny because, well, and I told you I started I have a brand new business that I just started, my NutriCoach School. And that is an older demographic for sure. These are women who are coming in who are just saying, I want to do something that's meaningful, mission driven, and will help. And I'm getting women who are 50 plus who are teaching millennials how to cook, because they're realizing, yes, this is important. It's not just a matter of having an Instagram worthy photo of a plate of food that you picked up at a restaurant. It's also a matter of creating it yourself. And so we've had some really nice success with that. I've enjoyed that. So that's my older demographic. In my business and Saving Dinner business, I also have an older demographic and I have a younger one. And it's funny, I think it's just because I've been in business so long. When you've been in business for 19 years, you've got people who've had kids grow up with your kids, and they have conversations with you like they've known you for 18 years, which is really fun. But my younger demographic for sure is, they're moms, they've got kids, they're doing carpool, and they're anywhere from, I'd say, about 35 to 50, and they're in the trenches doing it. So, and then, my older demographic, I don't think they'll ever leave me, just because I think we're old friends now. Yeah.
Well, I think it's awesome that you're helping both sides of the coin, because you have the wiser generation. And then, like you were saying with the millennials, I've met a few who they're like, oh, I can cook, and it's hamburger helper. That's not cooking, if you ask me.
Right.
I love
Right.
cooking. I got
Good.
started when I was about 8. Mom and dad taught me, and I'm very thankful for that. And I make fun of my sisters on occasion, because they were always like, they can't let them near the stove. I'm like, well, there can be like 25 and not know how to do anything, but
It's a life skill, in my
it's a lot of
opinion.
fun.
It's such an important thing to learn. If you've basically handcuff your children if you don't teach them how, because it is a life skill. This is like not teaching your children to floss their teeth. That's an important part of taking care of their health, as is cooking for taking care of your health. That's where your nutrition comes from, is your food. So it's
Absolutely.
critical.
I think it's important, and it brings the family closer. I'm happy to say my nephew now, he graduated from the Culinary Institute of America.
Oh, wow.
And, now we ask him what we should be doing, but it's definitely runs through the family. And I think it's a great thing just to bring family and friends together. So I'm glad you've been focused on it because I know you're contributing to that. Tell
Thank
me
you.
about transformation. What's the biggest transformation you've seen from someone that's read your blog, read your books, gone through your programs? What's a really great transformational
Well,
story?
and we have gotten just a few thousand
I was
testimonials
gonna
along the
say,
way. Yeah,
I'm sure there's thousands. What's one that
there
stands
is.
out?
But my very favorite one is the one that named my business, because back in the day when I first started, it was called Menu Mailer, because we would literally email menus to people who were in our Yahoo group. So don't ask me. I mean, it was just like, what a disaster that was. But anyway, that's exactly how it was. So it was called Menu Mailer. And so I bought menumailer.net. .com wasn't available. That was the only thing that was available. And I had that until I got my very first legitimate book contract. That's a long story, what legitimate and illegitimate book contracts look like. But when I got my first legitimate book contract for my first book, and it was at the time named, the working title was Menu Mailer by the Book. And my editor hated it. I wasn't in love with it, but I thought, at least tells it what it is. And they're coming up with all these dumb names. And I was just like, ugh, it sounds like everything else that's on the market. And this book is different because nobody had put out a book with menus, recipes, and shopping lists like I had, like I was getting ready to do. And so my editor and I were going back and forth and back and forth. And then I got this testimonial email that just absolutely blew my socks away. And I said, that's it. And she said, Leanne, not only did you help me save my dinner, you helped me save my marriage. And she went on to list all the different things that it made her feel like she was accomplished, like she wasn't, lost in the kitchen and she knew what to do. Well, when I saw the save dinner, I went, whoa, yes, that's it, saving dinner. And so I told my editor, I want to call it Saving Dinner. And they came up with the little, book cover with the superhero. It's a little caricature of me, of the superhero with the grocery cart and cape and all. And it was perfect. It was exactly what I wanted.
That is a fun story because
Yeah.
that I always like looking for the deeper side of things, not just the surface level, but that's
Right.
truly what you're doing when you can bring people together and cook and
Yes.
have dinner. I mean, it's kind of an intimate thing. You're not just, you might go out with a group of friends, but how many do you really have to your house? It's not everyone you know.
Oh, of course not. And there's a benefit, the huge benefits for the family for having dinner every day at the table, as much as you can anyway. And there's CASA, and it's a Columbia think tank group, put together this whole study of studying the family dinner table. And what they found, I think if every parent knew this, they would not hesitate to feed their kids dinner at the table. But they found that drug use went down. They did better. Kids did better in school. They felt secure, less apt to have any kind of an eating disorder, and that they felt connected, and they were less apt to rebel and do something crazy. So I mean, it's not a catch-all and it's not the whatever, but you could read the study online. It's absolutely fascinating. Every year they go back and they fish out a new statistic, and every one of them are positive and affirming to the family.
That's really important because
It is.
I hear so many people say, like you just said, well, it's not the end all be all. I say the same thing myself because I don't think there is a silver bullet, but when you get one area right and then you get a second one right and a third, fourth, fifth, and sixth,
Sure.
they all might not be silver bullets in and of themselves, but when you're shooting 99.5%, you mitigate those
Right.
chances of bad stuff happening quite
Why
a bit.
not stack the odds, right?
Absolutely. I tell my clients that all the time. Let's stack the deck.
Mhm.
If this was a
Totally.
court case and you're on the trial of your life, do you have enough evidence to convince anyone beyond a reasonable doubt, beyond a shadow of a doubt, they should do business with anyone but you?
Correct.
And most people don't have, the deck stack. They put one thing out. They're like, why isn't this happening overnight? Well, keep going.
Keep going. Yeah, tenacity is everything.
So out of all the QVC, the TV, the books, everything, let's touch on one or two things. What do you think was a big lever you'd recommend to someone that's, just a little bit behind you in looking to get to your level? What did you say that makes the biggest difference? Was it the book, the TV? I know it's all of it, and it's all
I
compounding,
mean, all
but
of it together, but I would say it's just the consistency that I've had over the years. And I will tell you, it's really funny. Social media has become such a thing, and of course, I've fallen into the social media pit somewhat myself. You just have to, right, in this day and age. But I think I look back, and I was cleaning out some files. I was looking back, and I was looking at old content calendars and everything, and it's just through the years, my consistency has been the reason why I'm still around. You know, day in, day out, there's always something going on. And, you just have to be that way. You just have to, continue and fight on. My bookkeeper one time told me, she goes, you know what? I have never met a woman with more grit than you. And just because I'm like, no, we're going to do this. And it's just, we're going to do that. And it's just, plowing ahead and hitting all of your goals. That's what makes it happen is grit and staying the course. I don't know of a shortcut.
I love that. I really do. And you're talking to me also. I appreciate that. I would agree, but I also don't mind hearing it over and over again.
Mhm.
So we're going to go to the imperfect action round. But before we do, you're going to be one of the lucky new recipients of something I just started the last week of episodes. So I don't have the wheel yet, but I have about 12 questions I came up with. And do you want a hardball one or a softball one?
You can do whatever you want. I'm not afraid of anything
I like that.
to a degree.
So I came up with stuff that's like real deep and then other stuff that's kind of surface level. And I want to peel back the onion a little bit. If you had the opportunity, I'm going to ask you this one. If you could talk to anyone from your life again that you currently aren't able to anymore, who would it be and what would you ask them or tell them?
It would be my dad. He's passed away. 1985, he died.
Sorry to hear
And he
that.
was a young man. Yeah, I mean, but I think what it would be just more of a discussion of trying to more understand him instead of just dismissing him. I would have asked him questions to understand him more. And I think, I think in our current situation, our current culture, we have such a disenfranchised, splintered society. Everybody's against each other. And, my thought is we have to look for the place where we can have empathy and where we can feel and love one another again, because at the end of the day, that's all there is. And if we want to live in a way that's just polarizing and repellent to everyone, then go ahead and be a Facebook troll or whatever. But I just look at where am I with I just look at if I could do anything over again, it would be that relationship with my dad.
I can relate. I lost Dad 2 years ago, actually, this month.
I'm sorry.
And thank you. And that's actually what inspired this question, because that's my answer as well.
Awesome.
Had a great relationship with him, but if I could have one more conversation, I'd pretty much do anything for it.
That's neat.
And I agree, because there's so many people focused on business and life and this, that, the other thing. But, if today was your last, what would you do differently? And it's like, I think most people would come to the conclusion, maybe not the people we know, I'd say maybe 80-90% we'd keep it the same. But most people, I think they change a lot. And it's one of the reasons I started the show, is to give them great people like yourself to say, hey, look, here's thousands of possibilities. Go for it. Don't wait another second.
Amen.
We are, what's going on? We're going to the imperfect action round. Okay, that didn't distract me one bit, but thank you for being honest.
Yes.
All right, we'll be right back with the imperfect action round after we thank our sponsor. You wouldn't dare roll up to a meeting unprepared in your pajamas with bad lighting, all blurry-eyed, so why do you think it's acceptable to do the equivalent on camera, with even more people watching from around the world? Don't get stuck in startup mode. You know it's time to step up your game, but how? I advise to all my clients Wirecast Pro for their professional productions, and it's why I use it, and advise you do as well. Get your 30-day free trial today at eainterviews.com/Wirecast, and start your next live stream with the studio look and feel your brand demands so your audience can focus on what's most important, your content. Remember, it's not just a video, it's your business. So if you want to actually profit from your production, get your 30-day free trial today at eainterviews.com/Wirecast. Once again, that's eainterviews.com/Wirecast. And we are back with the Imperfect Action Round. Leanne, are you ready to take imperfect action?
I can take imperfect action.
You've
I
done
do it daily.
it just once or twice, right?
You might say that. Yep.
All right. The first question is, what is the fastest path to the cash in your experience?
A really good irresistible offer.
Tell me more about this.
So
what do you think that includes?
I think it includes, well, it's changed over the years, of course. I think it includes something that is a connector, like, eyeball to eyeball kind of a thing. So being a part of a group, being a part of a community, I think is part of it. Information, but information that they're looking for. In my case, they're looking for an easy dinner or whatever. So it could be an ebook of recipes, but something to connect those two dots, community and information. And information is cheap and easy to come by anymore, but connection's hard. So if you put them together, I think you have something good.
That does sound like an irresistible offer. I was thinking about that the other day. There's so much info out there, but I think people have lost the ability to have one-on-one conversations and communicate.
Totally. Absolutely. And people want that communication. They want, we might not have the old-fashioned coffee clutches that, our mothers and grandmothers had, but we do have the opportunity to bring people in and to communicate and to be a part of their lives and hear their voices and bring them on camera with us and do all kinds of things. And we also have the information that we can get out to them, being the experts that we are. So it works, I think, hand in hand.
Love the answer. The second one would be, what is the biggest problem you see your prospects making, and how can they fix it the fastest?
Let's see. So I think part of it is indecision. And just kind of like have one foot in and one foot out. And I would say, with whether it's with my NutriCoach clients or it's my saving dinner stuff, just jump in and let's get busy.
I like it. The third one would be, how do you maximize customer lifetime value in your business?
Well, an email sequence, of course, is really important. A nurture sequence, funnels, etc., are important. But I think, again, it goes back to that whole sense of community. What I've noticed in the last 19 years, and when you look at the stats and your conversions and everything, when I'm present and doing video and doing communities and what have you, my conversions are way up there. If I just put something out, my conversions are way down there. So I think that's the way to bring conversions up and to increase the lifetime value. When people think that they know you and they have an opportunity to ask you anything, people will ask me, well, I love your, what kind of shampoo do you use? Seriously, they'll ask me anything. And I'm fine. I'm like, okay, this is what I use. I don't care. But if they have that kind of a comfort level with you, that means that they're connecting with you. So connection, I think, is supremely important, especially in my world where I've got my lifetime value is I've got an inexpensive product, information product on continuity. On the back end, I've got supplements. And then I've got another separate thing that, I teach people how to be teachers and teach people how to cook and be, with nutrition and what have you. So all of these things together, they can all connect up together and I can have them for a very long time. And I have a lot of people that I've had for a long time. But I think that's part of the secret sauce is that one-on-one connection.
I want to expand on two of those because you made a lot of great points. And, for people listening to this, I want if you could expand a little bit on the continuity side of things, because I think a lot of businesses miss this boat also.
Well, I think a lot of yeah, well, there's been a lot of slime in the continuity business, and so I would just say cut the crap and just let's get down to what continuity should be. First of all, trying to trap somebody in continuity by here's your free thing, but we need your credit card, and then dinging them later. That is now going against the can spam laws now finally. But that took a lot out of the those of us who were doing it right from the beginning. There's like this suspicion of people who want to do continuity. Continuity is a great thing, and continuity again is back to consistency. If you're not going to continually release your product at the certain time, then you've blown it. So I will tell you, in the 19 years that I've been in business, I have had two incidents where one was when my mother passed away,
Sorry
and
to
the other
hear.
one was with, yeah, it was 2 years ago. And the other one was with, I had a glitch in my software when I did not deliver. But those menus go out every single Tuesday, except for those two times. But we caught up with it, and it went out Tuesday evening instead, and I had my assistant take care of it. And then on with the glitch, we just we said, well, you can't log in, but here are the link, and sent those out. So you have no excuse. If you're gonna do continuity, you have to be absolutely 100% sold out that you're going to continually do continuity and send that out. So
Yeah,
good,
I,
it's
I
good
agree.
stuff.
There's a lot of people who have been doing it wrong. Um, I remember one person that reached out to me that wanted help to grow their business, and he was saying all the right things, and I'm so glad he slipped up, because it was a gym, and at one point he's like, "Well, this sounds all well and good, as long as we can get them in, I don't really care if they come in, just as long as their cards are on file." And I was like, "Yeah, we're
Wrong.
not going forward," because
Mm-mm.
I could tell his heart was, I just want the numbers and the things. He didn't care if they actually. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, absolutely not. I don't work with
Yeah.
people like that. But the
Mm-mm.
upside, like you're saying, is for anyone listening that doesn't have a continuity program, 19 years and all you've done is kept growing it and growing it and growing it. It gives you the baseline where you don't have a revenue
Absolutely.
roller coaster, and you just keep things rolling.
Yeah. We just keep filling that fund, $10 at a time. It's a $10 a month product. It's a very inexpensive product. And
Irresistible offer. It's not a
it's
high barrier
very
to entry.
irresistible. Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to expand on was the video. How has video helped your business? Because it sounds like you're using it to build the community and have that deeper connection with folks.
Yeah, I will say, yes, I have been doing that. I've been a little MIA lately. It's been a sanity break from the madness. And,
You're here now, though.
I am here now, but I've been doing a lot of development. I've been working really hard on my NutriCoach stuff and everything. So head down, just keep going. And it's funny because I've seen a little dip. And so I need to get back out and, just do my thing. Our Facebook lives do really well. And, sometimes occasionally we get one that goes viral. So that's always fun. And, that I would say that is that's the connection piece that people are looking for. And that, especially if you mess up and you just say, whoops, well, sorry about that. And I will get little comments like, you're just human and thank you. And it's so fun to see you mess up, and I'm like, okay, whatever. So it's just continuity, consistency, and community. Those three things, those three C's, really important. And you build your community by being out there and being willing to be vulnerable and being willing to, just be yourself. And when I say be vulnerable too, one of the things just annoys me to know and is when somebody gets on and says, I'm just going to be really vulnerable with you right now. I mean, who cares? You don't have to preface what you're going to say with, "Oh, now I'm going to be vulnerable with you right now," because I feel like it's really phony. If you're going to just genuinely be yourself, just say, "Hey, you know what? This is a little tough. Forgive me. I might get a little bit, this it's tough for me to say, But if you come out and say, I'm going to get vulnerable with you, it's like you have a playbook of what you're going to do. And it doesn't translate as genuine.
I agree
So,
with you. I've seen people, and it's funny you say that because I've heard it with the authenticity. People going,
oh,
okay, I'm going to get authentic with you now, just
I
being
know.
real. And it's
What does
like,
that mean? That the rest of the time you're not?
yeah.
I mean,
Or
yeah,
I've joked with people in real life when you're having a conversation and like, okay, let me be honest with you. It's like, what, you've been lying to me the last 19 minutes?
exactly.
Would you ever start off a speech or an interview going, okay, I'm going to start talking now? No,
I
you
know
just start doing it.
exactly.
That's
That's
interesting.
precisely it right there. It drives me insane.
All right, so I have a couple more questions for you, and I'm going to
Say
get
hi.
vulnerable with you.
Here we go.
I'm teasing. It's actually about books. What is one book that has really helped you throughout the years?
Oh my goodness, that is such a good. Well, I mean, Think and Grow Rich. I've read all the classics, of course. Um, let's see. How about a book that just has recently kind of rocked my world? Atomic Habits. I don't know if you've read that.
Yes. I haven't
So
read it yet.
good.
I've been hearing a lot about it, and I'm picking it
Oh,
up.
so good. Story Brand, excellent book. When I like books, what I will oftentimes do is I will buy it and then I've got my pencils, my yellow marker, my yellow highlighters, and I also listen to it on Audible because I just feel like I'm going to get that much more out of it. And sometimes I'll go back a second time. Intentions by Wayne Dyer. He's one of my heroes. I love him. What else have I loved? Gosh, Ready Fire Aim has been a good one. Or yeah, Ready Fire Aim, I think it is. What else do I like? Uh, I mean, Tools of the Titans. I'm sure you read that.
You're
Um,
mentioning a lot of good ones.
Tim Ferriss. Yeah, well, I'm sitting here looking at my bookshelf going, oh, what ones do I like here? Yeah, I've got a lot of books. Oh, no, I don't. That's why I was so glad that you had, yeah, all of this here. But I mean, I've got, I've got a lot of books. I read a lot of books.
That's
So,
fantastic. And it sounds
yeah.
like you read them the same way I do, where it's more of you study them.
Yes, absolutely. 100%.
I will tell you some of the lowest points of my life and business. If there's one thing I could recommend to anyone, it's if you have nothing, invest in highlighters in books.
Yes.
It will turn
Yes.
everything around, and I love the highlighters, and I do the exact same thing.
I do too. And sometimes if they're really good, I get those little sticky things, and I'll put it on that page just so I can go back and, why did I do that? I always think, why did I do that? And then I went, oh yeah, I'm glad I'm coming back to look at this one.
Yeah, and I'm glad they finally started making the highlighters that don't smudge, because it was like
Yes,
those
I
crazy
know.
old-fashioned ones back from the Yahoo groups of 99
Yeah,
and Prodigy and AIM and ICQ and all that, but
I know.
constant improvement is good. Have you ever heard of Aqua Notes?
No.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna love them.
Is that with summary?
Waterproof notes. You can literally take notes in the shower, get your ideas out on the boat whenever you're outside near the pool.
Well, I'm writing that down. Aqua Notes. What a good idea. I keep a notebook by my bed for things, and I use my phone constantly in the
Yes.
notes section. But
I love
Aqua
Evernote.
Evernote's great. Yeah, we use that.
That's what I use to write a couple of my books. You can voice
Seriously.
to text, take the notes, bring it to the desktop. But Aqua Notes, I I had an idea for aquatic notes. I was on my wave runner on the lake, and I was like, they've got to have something. I found them, and even if it wasn't for how cool they are, I got to tell you, their tagline, no more bad ideas down the drain. I was like, from the marketer of me, I'm
Oh
going
yeah.
sold. But
Done.
I've been
Yeah.
using those for probably 10 years plus.
All right. Well, it's right here. I'm going to be looking that up. That's a great idea.
Yeah, they're fantastic. You'll have to tell me how you like them. So
I will.
I appreciate you sharing the books with us. And the only other thing I wanted to ask you is, where can people find you? I know we've been mentioning it, and I've been doing that intentionally, but tell us some more. And where's the best place they can find you?
Well, they can find me on savingdinner.com for sure. I'm pretty much always there. And then also NutriCoach School.com as well. and pretty much always there as well.
Excellent. Uh,
Yeah.
if I may, elaborate as much as you can. I want to make sure everyone knows about your newest program because that's what you're excited about and launching. If you want to go a little bit deeper, feel free with the NutriCoach and who it's for and
Thanks.
what you're doing
Well,
with
I
that.
appreciate that, Mario. It is, it's sort of kind of the culmination of my life's work because my whole intention always has been to teach people how to cook and get their families back to the dinner table and make it as easy as possible, doing all the heavy lifting, etc. And I've always said the only thing I don't do is shop, chop, or cook, right? Well, now I'm teaching people how to do my methodology of menu planning, of understanding. I've been a nutritionist for 25 years, understanding nutrition, how to put all of this together. And I have 12 modules that they go through, each module building upon each other. So at the very end of it, they have a feasible business. Plus, there's business training too throughout it because for a lot of these women, and I just put 11 women through my first beta test. And these women were all, they're a little bit timid about it. And my whole thing to them is, you have to be a little scared and a little crazy to start a business. And so, if you could just embrace that and lean into it, you can have your own business. And plus I show them exactly what to do. I mean, and it's not so that they can start online businesses per se. Having an online presence is important, but they get the hands-on part where they are with people. They're teaching them to cook. They're showing them how to menu plan, and they get that community connection right away. And so I always tell them, you've got a distinct advantage over me. You get to do this hand in hand with people, and bring these people into your home and teach them how to cook or go to their home and do cooking lessons. So I'm thrilled and excited about it because it's an extension really of Saving Dinner. And it's really taking, all the things that I've done for the last 19 years and putting hands and a face on it and a presence in people's homes to really help them out and get them on the right track. So I'm thrilled about it.
You should be. It sounds fantastic. You got me
Thank you.
thinking of a couple people I'm going to tell it to because
Thank you.
it's not only the front end, and you're welcome. It's not only the front end of here's how it's going to help you. You now are creating this ripple effect of, I know there's a lot of women that maybe they're raising the kids and they want to do something more, but they don't want it to take away from that. And this is a perfect opportunity for them on top of Saving Dinner.
Absolutely, 100%. And and they'll learn their own skill. Well, even if they, don't, I had one woman who just took the class because she wanted to learn how to cook. And now she's starting a business. So that's pretty exciting.
That's
Yeah,
exciting.
she feels really confident about it. It gives you real confidence. And the other thing is, the world does not need another nutritionist or another nutrition coach out there. It doesn't. What the world needs is they need actual skills so they know what to do in the kitchen with all those vegetables and they don't rot in the crisper. They know what to do with everything and how to create a well-balanced meal. That's exactly what NutriCoach is all about.
Well, I'm glad you're starting it.
Thank you.
It sounds really good.
I'm really excited about it.
Well, I appreciate you for coming on and sharing with Expert Authority World. I've enjoyed it as much as I know they have, and I look forward to connecting with you even further.
Thanks so much, Mario.
All right, Expert Authority World, we have another great one here. We'll see you on tomorrow's episode. God bless.